All right, let's talk about something that I think pretty much everyone struggles with, that feeling of being lazy. You know what I'm talking about, that huge, frustrating gap between your big goals and what you actually do. But what if that feeling isn't really laziness at all?
I mean, seriously, do you ever feel that way? That heavy, dragging feeling when you absolutely know you should be doing something important, but you just can't? It's so common, right?
And that's what makes it so maddening. You've got these big goals. You want to get that degree, or build that side hustle, or finally get in shape. The ambition is totally there. But somehow, you're just stuck. It's like the goal is way over there, you're over here, and there's this invisible wall you just can't seem to break through. It's a horrible feeling. But here's the thing. What if that wall has nothing to do with who you are as a person? Yeah, you heard me. You're not lazy at all. I'll say it again just so it sinks in. You are not lazy. Now that kind of changes everything, doesn't it? It means that whole story you've been telling yourself, all that beating yourself up, it's built on a lie. The feeling is absolutely real, but that word, lazy, it's just a huge misunderstanding.
So let's get into this big misunderstanding. Here's the core idea. What we call laziness isn't the real issue. It's just a mask for other, much more specific problems hiding underneath. Think of it like a symptom, not the actual disease. And the cool part is, once you know what the real problem is, you can actually do something about it.
You see, for so long, we've treated this like it's some kind of moral failing. Like, oh, if I just had more willpower, I'd be fine. But that's not it at all. This isn't about discipline, it's about your brain chemistry. It has way more to do with things like dopamine, or being confused, or even just being scared. It's biology, plain and simple, not some flaw in your character.
Okay, so if it's not actually laziness, then what is it? Well, it turns out there are four main culprits that love to dress up and pretend to be a lack of motivation. So let's unmask them one by one.
Here are the four big ones. First, having way too much easy dopamine. Second, not having a clear direction. Third, fear, in disguise. And finally, just plain old low physical energy. As we go through these, see which ones resonate with you. You might find yourself nodding along to one, or maybe even all four.
All right, reason number one. This one is huge, especially today. Your brain is just overloaded with easy dopamine. Now, dopamine is supposed to be the motivation molecule, right? But it can get hijacked. Our world today is basically a minefield of cheap, easy dopamine hits that make actual hard work feel, well, kind of impossible by comparison.
I mean, just think about it. Social media, those endless short video feeds, gaming, just scrolling and scrolling, our brains get wired to this constant, nonstop fire hose of stimulation. So what happens when you try to sit down and do something that takes real focus, like studying or working on a project? Of course it feels boring. Your brain isn't broken, it's just been trained to expect a fireworks show every 5 seconds.
Which leads us right into reason number two, no clear direction. Your brain hates being confused, so a vague goal like, I want to be successful, is just paralyzing. Your brain literally doesn't know what the first step is. But compare that to something super specific like, I'm going to study for 30 minutes tonight at 7 p.m. See? Now that's an instruction. Your brain knows exactly what to do, and taking that first step suddenly feels 1,000 times easier.
Now, reason number three, this one goes a little deeper. Sometimes you're not lazy, you're just scared. Procrastination is so often a self-protection mechanism. If a task feels threatening to us in some way, our brain's default response is to avoid it. We call that avoidance laziness, but if you dig down, what you'll often find hiding there is fear.
Just think about it for a second. Are you really putting off that big project because you're lazy? Or is it because you're secretly afraid you're going to fail? Are you avoiding that tough conversation because you can't be bothered, or because you're worried about what they'll think of you? That fear of not being good enough, man, it is such a powerful force, and it keeps us stuck way more than we give it credit for.
And that brings us to reason four, which honestly seems so obvious, but we forget it constantly. You can't have high productivity on low energy. It's just not possible. We expect ourselves to operate like world-class athletes while we're running on empty. It's literally like trying to drive a car with no gas in the tank and then getting mad at the car for not starting. Your brain and your body, they need fuel. And this is so important to remember. Energy comes before discipline. Say it with me. Energy before discipline. If you're not sleeping well, if you're eating junk food all the time, if you're not moving your body, you're just not going to have the physical resources you need for that mental heavy lifting.
A lot of the time, fixing your energy levels is the #1 thing you can do to beat that feeling of laziness.
Okay, so we've pulled back the curtain and we've seen the 4 real culprits. So now what? What do we actually do about it? Well, the good news is there are some really simple, concrete steps you can take to kind of reset your whole system. Let's walk through a simple 3-step reset. Step 1, start reducing that easy dopamine. Just try something small, like no phone for the first hour after you wake up. Just see what happens. Step 2, make your tasks ridiculously small. Study for 3 hours sounds awful, but study for 10 minutes? Anyone can do that. You build momentum with tiny wins. And step 3, and this one is so important, you have to change your identity. Stop telling yourself, I'm so lazy. Start saying something like, I am learning to be disciplined. The words you say to yourself matter a lot.
And that last point, it might just be the most important piece of this whole puzzle. This isn't just about changing what you do. It's about changing who you believe you are. Because trust me, your brain is always listening to the story you're telling it about yourself.
So let's give you a new script. From now on, you're not a lazy person. You are a capable, competent person who just happens to be overloaded or distracted or maybe just a little unclear on the next step. You feel the difference there. One is a life sentence on your character, the other is just describing a temporary situation. So stop trying to fix yourself and start fixing the system around you. You'll be amazed at what happens.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. What distracts you the most? What's your personal kryptonite? Is it the easy dopamine from your phone, a big, vague goal that's scaring you off, or maybe a hidden fear? Just figuring out what it is, well, that's the first real step to taking back control. Thanks for hanging out.